if I fall.
Okay, now we're recording. Okay, now we have an audience and a show. Okay, okay, yeah. Aaron, you're all set. Perfect. You got Maru, you got Echo, you got Jelly. What's the name?
Joey.
Joey. You got Joey. We got what's your fish's name?
Mushu.
Of course, Mushu. Yeah, Mushu's here in spirit. Okay, Aaron, are you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and go.
Hello, everyone. I'm committed to improving healthcare education for the Asian American elderly population. During my time in healthcare, I learned of the dangerous practices that result when patients are uninformed. For example, patients will delay treatment for far too long without understanding the seriousness of their conditions. Using my platform, I plan to work with local clinics, pharmacies, as well as my medical school to provide better educational resources for our elders. We enjoy a better life because of our elders, and it is our job to protect them. Thank you.
Good, well done. 38 seconds. Good job. Yay! Echo loves it. Joey loves it. I'm sure Maru loves it back there. He's just too tired to give a shit right now. Everyone loves it. Good job, good job, good job. Well done. All right. May, I see you online. Are you ready, May?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have an audience too, or is it just you?
I actually have chickens, but they're outside.
You have chickens?
Yeah, I do.
You should bring chickens on the camera next time. That's awesome. Wow, I don't think I've ever met anyone have chickens as pet. That's awesome. Okay. All right, May. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, and go.
My mission is to improve the healthcare outcomes for immigrants. During the Cambodian genocide, my grandmother had developed cataracts while working long hours in a concentration camp before coming to America. Here as a refugee immigrant, she faced limited medical resources and a language barrier, leading to generations of absent healthcare necessities for my family. Now as a medical school applicant, I volunteer at clinics near the Mexican border and in Cambodia town, dedicated to improving the health of all immigrant populations. Let's unite in breaking this cycle of health disparity. Thank you.
Good job. 43 seconds. Well done. All right, you guys are doing well. You guys got your choreography pretty well down. You guys are keeping within the time limit, and you guys have pretty much essentially memorized your talk. So super proud of you guys. Okay, let's see. Marissa's gone, Sky's gone, Caitlin's gone, Aaron's gone, May's gone, Angela is on the road. I wasn't able to work with Sarah yet. I haven't worked with Mayfree. Kylie, that's right, I skipped you. Are you ready, Kylie?
Yes, there were some issues with Wi-Fi, but I think I'm good now.
Yeah, okay.
Can you guys see me? You guys are like frozen for me.
We can see you, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you gonna
One-
time?
Yeah, I'm gonna time you. All right.
Okay.
One. Well, let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, and go.
Growing up shy and reserved, dance has truly allowed me to bloom. My social platform is called Dare to Dance. As a volunteer dance teacher at both the Boys and Girls Club and as well as Friends of Children with Special Needs, I encourage my students to develop their creative voices with every tap, twist, and twirl. Be it dance, science, music, or any other medium, my core mission is to inspire children to develop the confidence to share their dreams, passions, and gifts with society. Tonight, I encourage all of you to dance like no one's watching, sing like no one's listening, love like you've never been hurt, and live like it's heaven on earth. Thank you.
Very good. 44 seconds. So right there and done. I think, I don't know if the other girls saw it, your videos froze just a little bit in the middle, sadly.
Oh.
For the Wi-Fi. So they didn't get a chance to see you twirl on your stage, which is really cute. But otherwise, you sound great. I love your energy. That's exactly the type of energy I love to have on the social platform. So good job there, Kylie.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think that is everyone except for Angela, who can't do it right now, but I think everyone I've worked with with their stage choreography has gone, right? Think so? Okay, good. The other, yeah, okay. All right, so I'm assuming that you guys want to do Q&A again. Is that what you guys want to do?
Wait, real a question really quickly.
Yeah. Mhm.
If the choreography feels like a little bit off for us, can we change it?
Of course. Yep. Make sure you change it to set a session up with me so I can see the new choreography you put together. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but 100%. What I did for you guys were suggestions, so you can work from that. So make sure that you guys make it something that you like. But then once you're happy with it, set another time with me. Let me have a look at it. Make sure everything like in sync makes sense. And if so, then you run with that and make sure that you memorize that. Okay. All right. Great. So let's see. The message is right here. All right. Do you guys want to do Q&A? Or are you guys gonna do? Okay, here's this. Okay, so my impression is that you guys are all like freaked out about Q&A, which is understandable considering that it's a very spontaneous thing, and you guys have to think on the spot. And is the last 10%. Like if you guys are like finalists, then yes, this Q&A will literally decide whether you make it in top 5 or not. Okay, but it is also 10% of your score versus the interview that is 20% of your score. So I do feel like your interview you guys are pretty good at, but also don't forget the interview is your first chance really, and maybe in some cases your only chance to bond with the judges and really make that impression where they are interested and want to follow you and become one of their favorites. Okay, so don't like forget about the interview. The interview is actually more important than the Q&A. I know the Q&A is more nerve-wracking because you're right there on the spot, but the interview is actually more important than the Q&A from a standard of points and from standard of first impressions. So with that being understood, what do you guys want to work on?
Can we work on interview?
Okay, you want to interview first?
Mm.
Okay. All right. Let me get let me get my timer. Perfect. So Marissa, this is not too many girls, right?
No.
All right. Marissa was being shy today.
It's been 2 weeks. I was nervous.
You guys get all this nerves out of your system because in 4 weeks you guys can be on stage. Okay. All right. Angela, I don't know, are you able to, do you want to just listen in or do you want to also ask questions and be interviewed? Okay, I'm going to assume that's just observed. All right.
Did that seem like she was driving or she was the driver?
Oh, she's a driver. Okay, she's just
Yeah.
listening. All right, sounds good. I wasn't able to make out what she was saying. Okay. And Sylvia, do you want to just listen in or do you also want to participate?
I could participate. It should be okay.
Okay, sounds good. All right, then we'll just go through this thing. All right. Who has not done at least 2 interviews? Okay, has everyone done at least 3 interviews? Okay, you have or you haven't, Caitlin? Caitlin.
I think I only did one.
You did 1?
Yeah.
Okay, well shit, we're gonna do you then. All right.
Wait, can you remind me how the rules work?
The rules are you get, well, for our practice, you have 3 minutes. In the real setting, it's going to be 7 minutes. But we're this is so we can get through more people at once. So the rules is that the judges can ask you pretty much anything they want to. And also keep your eye on a timer, which is going to be right about here
Mhm.
from in my little screen here. Because when it hits 0, I will cut you off or the judge is off, whoever is talking. So make sure you keep an eye on a timer and try to time your answer right toward the last few seconds or the last second, okay? So,
Okay.
because you don't want to be cut off in the middle of your interview. It's kind of awkward. Okay?
Mhm.
Okay, let's go. Let's do you first, Caitlin. All right, let's start off with Judge Aaron. Please start with our Q&A. Or sorry, our interview.
Okay, Caitlin, what is your greatest weakness?
I would say my greatest weakness is overthinking. I overthink a lot when it comes to things I don't really enjoy. Like, for example, homework. During school, I procrastinate my homework and I overthink it, and which leads me to doing it last minute, which I do not show my best work at. But I've been working on it and I've been working on time management. Thank you.
Judge Sky.
What is your favorite subject?
My favorite subject in school is actually history. For the longest time, I didn't really understand what history was for, like learning about the past, like we should be focused on the future and what things we could achieve. But last year in my world history class, I found it really interesting learning about Asian culture and especially Chinese culture, since I'm Chinese myself, and learning about the different monuments and the people and the culture. Thank you.
Judge Marissa.
Going back to how you said that you are like a big overthinker and you're trying to overcome that, what steps have you taken to really tackle overthinking?
One thing I've done to tackle overthinking is actually going to tutoring. So right when I get assigned work, I would go to my teacher and I would have one-on-one sessions with my teacher so we could work on the problems. So I'd be able to work on it at home. So I would feel more confident in attacking my work. Thank you.
Judge Sylvia.
What has been the most challenging part of this pageant for you and why?
Definitely the most challenging part is maintaining my schedule. Taking these classes take up a lot of time and it's my summer break right now and I really want to enjoy it, but I need to manage my time more efficiently and I need to learn that these classes are very valuable and the time Francis takes out of his day to help all us girls practice on our pageants is really valuable and that I need to really prioritize what I want to do for the future me. Thank you.
Judge May. You're muted, May, if you're talking.
What is your favorite thing to do?
My favorite thing to do is eat. I love to eat. Every time my friends want to go out and they ask me what I want to do, it's always something related to food. I have a sweet tooth. I love getting boba and lately I've been really into bingsu. Thank you.
Okay, and that is pretty much the time. Good job. Well done. Good answers. Nothing in particular to critique about. Were you happy with all your answers, Caitlin, and how you responded?
I think for some of them, I had a hard time finding the words. I knew what to say. I just didn't know how to word them properly. I stuttered in some parts, but I felt pretty comfortable with my answers. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So yeah, overall, I think that's fine. Yeah, I don't think I have any particular feedback. Like basically for the interview, the most important thing is just to be yourself, that be the most confident and comfortable self that you can be. Don't come across as stiff in the interview. That's actually
Yeah, I've heard I'm very monotone when I'm focused. I'm usually a lot more bubbly.
yes, you are. You are much more
I
bubbly when
feel
you talk.
very you know.
Guy, do you have any advice on how Caitlin could become more herself, be more herself in the interview and not like so formal?
Normally, my personality goes into the way that I do business, whether it's teaching or presenting with other people. So for me, like I try to keep that in mind whenever I'm doing something. It's like, okay, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to make sure one, I am focused, but at the same time, make sure that I'm giving my energy to those people because they're there to feel it and they're there or they need that energy from me to keep them going. Because again, if you are monotone, then presentations do kind of get a little bit boring and you do miss a few things. But if you're passionate about what you're saying, then it shows up in your voice. That's the way that I do it. And if you want to, like anytime you're presenting someone or something, sorry, you can always like slide in a few little appropriate side comments because that's what I do. And then it always makes people laugh and it makes people feel comfortable too. So that's the things that you want to do. Make people feel comfortable and also make sure that you're giving the same energy to them that they're giving to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's beautiful advice. I mean, the judge is going to be, they're going to be very excited, very eager to get to know you. And, they're very eager to do their job, which is to score and to help us pick the next Miss Asian Global, Miss Asian America, first, second, third princess, all that. So they're super excited about their job. So that's the energy they're going to try to exude, but they're not going to be ones doing most of the talking. They're going to be asking questions and listening mostly. You have to fill in that gap and show them how much enthusiasm and energy and presence and vitality that you have in that room. You need to fill that room with as much energy that 7, 8 people can take from you, okay? So just like Sky said, for whatever reason, some people think that formality means stiffness. So not the case. Formality should be respectful, but still should be just as engaging. All right. Formality is not boring. It's not stiffness. It is respectful and it's insightful. And it's also, especially, I would say formality is needs to be even more engaging than when you're just talking casual. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. All right. Let's try, who else has only done one interview? Everyone has done at least two, right?
I
Yeah,
think that's 2.
you've only done 2? Is that Sylvie? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and do you then. Okay,
Okay.
let's start off with Judge Kylie. Kylie, you ready? All right, and Judge Kylie, please start us off.
Hi, Sylvia. What is your greatest weakness?
Hi, thank you so much for this question. I think that my greatest weakness is that I plan too many things. I really enjoy having a social life and also focusing on my business. So I'm always doing different things. Sometimes I can get burnt out too easily and not sleep enough, but I have been really trying to manage that better and really trying to schedule less social time so I can hibernate and focus on myself.
Good. Judge Sarah?
What do you hope to have learned from the pageant and how can you apply it to life after the pageant?
Yeah, thank you so much for this question. What I really hope to get out of this pageant is a few things. I really wanted to join so that I can better myself as a person. I want to really work on my public speaking skills, and I think that that has really helped me. The lessons and the meetings that we have had has really been helping me improve on that. And I really believe this will help me in the real world. As I mentioned, I just started a business, so I am always engaging with different people and possible clients. So that will definitely transfer over.
Judge Mayfree?
Hi, Sylvia. Could you share something interesting about yourself?
Yeah, something interesting about myself is that I like to travel, but more so I like to live abroad. I really have a passion for going to different countries, learning about different cultures, and I have lived in Europe. I have lived in Spain for a year, and I have lived in Australia for the past 2.5 years.
Judge Caitlin?
Who's your biggest role model?
My biggest role model, I would say, is my mother. My mother is an immigrant from China, and she moved here in her early 20s, and she is such a hard worker. You know, growing up, I saw her work every day, day and night to support my brother and I. And I just have so much love for her. I honestly strive to have her work ethic because it's insane.
Judge Aaron.
What do you love about yourself, Sylvia?
Oh my goodness. I actually love a lot of
We have
things about
time. Sorry, that's time.
oh, oh
So you
sorry.
probably
I can see the timer.
Hey, you can see my timer, but that's yeah,
Timer.
so that's why I was all like, oh shit, 10 seconds. All right, that's too long to not say anything and probably too short to say anything.
Yeah, I can't see the timer. I forgot
Yeah.
we were time.
Yeah,
on
your
that.
time.
Yeah.
Okay. I love your answers are great. My only feedback is this. You need to, if you can, Sylvia, plan out your answers a little bit more. Because
Yeah.
if it comes out, because one of the things I'm noticing about your speech, you have really good and engaging and very casual and
Yeah.
put everything, but I hear a lot of this da 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 and da 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 and da 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 and da 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 and. So it's like you're constantly tacking things on. So you're like, so if Aaron asks, you know, what was your question again, Aaron?
What do you love about yourself?
What do you feel about yourself? Then you can, if you have you have to be careful not to come across as constantly making stuff, not making stuff, but constantly adding stuff as an afterthought. So if you already know a certain thing that you love about yourself, if you know there's like more than one, you can say, I love my ability to be independent, and I love my ability to travel, and I love my ability to be able to engage with altering cultures. So let me explain that a little bit. And then you start explaining this instead of like da 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 da. Oh, and also this thing I love. Oh, and also this thing I love. And oh, also this thing I love. Plan it out a little bit, right? Because if you
for like the interview, is it kind of like a conversation, or should I just be like
you
more
can be
like
a conversation, but if you say that, but I'm just saying is I've noticed that in your conversation as a very, very consistent pattern. And if I notice it, the judges will notice it.
So do I just like cut to it? Like, how do I like end it? Like, just be like, okay, my favorite quality about me is how my personality, because I love getting to know people on a genuine level, and then that's it.
And explain that.
It's like kind of like awkward.
I would say pick one thing or two things if you want to pick one thing and dive deep into it instead of adding a whole bunch of things.
Okay.
They want to know.
And then like, how do you kind of end it? Like, how do you end it then?
Like you can say, you know, that's one of the things that I really truly love about myself. You can even use the whole formula if you want to use that as a structure to end it. But I'm just saying, like, be careful on certain words that become repetitive over and over again. Judges will latch onto that as well too. If I'm noticing it, I promise you the judges, out of 7 judges, at least one of them will also going to notice it as well too.
Okay, so just like focus on one thing per question.
I would like, or if you want to, if you know there's going to be more than one thing you want to share an answer, like, oh my God, there's these 3 things that, what are your favorite foods? And then you think there's actually 3 foods I love the most. So just say that right in front. It's like, well, here are my 3 favorite foods, boom, boom, and boom. And then you explain it, da 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 da. And you can even end just like that. But just be careful not to constantly tack on things over and over and over again. It's okay to answer 1 question or even 2 questions, but if every question has been answered like that, they'll start seeing a pattern on how you're talking. And even though this is a conversational thing, you want to keep this thing lively, a variety, keep it very, very, interesting. Does that make sense? Right. So just be wary of how you're talking. This is also part of interview. When you're interviewing for a job, you need to be conscientious of how you're presenting. So whenever someone's talking to me, even though I may come across as unconversational, I'm very aware of exactly how I'm presenting myself. Okay, so sound conversational with intention of sounding conversational, but you're in control constantly.
Makes sense.
Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yes. Thank
Been a
you.
blast. Great job. I love that you have a lot of great content. I just want you to structure it where you already plan it in your head. You have complete control over it, Sylvia. But your content is
Okay.
great.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course, we'll practice more of it on when
Wednesday.
yeah, I'll practice more of this with you on Wednesday, okay?
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Awesome. Okay, who else wants to go? Who else has only gotten 2 interviews? Okay, Marissa, you're gonna
Yeah.
go? Okay. Let's start off with Sky. You want us to kick off, Sky? Okay, Judge Sky.
What genre of music do you think best describes you and why?
I would say that it's a blend between dance and pop music. That is really my area because I can be very like trendy. I like to follow trends sometimes, but I'm also full of energy and I love to dance around when nobody's watching, not around people. But so yeah, I would say pop and dance music.
Awesome. Judge Aaron.
What is your biggest regret?
I think my biggest regret was not being proud of my Chinese culture growing up. I grew up in a community where being Chinese was very different and people would make fun of me, whether that was the way I looked or just because I had a different perspective or my culture was different. And people would always pick on me for it. And so because of that, I really tried to shove my Chinese culture down. I can't really speak the language anymore. And so I think that's something that I really regret because now I can't communicate with my grandparents. I can't talk to my boyfriend's parents. And it's something that I really wish that I was proud of a lot earlier.
Judge Kylie.
How did you overcome that discrimination?
I think after going to college, I found a community where inclusion was the biggest piece of just finding that community. And so I was an orientation leader and we were taught that everybody comes from different backgrounds and that is a beautiful thing because diversity of thought and different perspectives make us an amazing community or whatever it may be. And so after finding that group, I now take inclusion into everything that I do as a recruiter. I'm now a mentor where I help underserved youth figure out what they want to do with their life, that their background is not going to define their futures. And so I want to pay it forward to people that I see myself in.
Judge May.
I know that you value diversity. So what is your opinion on affirmative action?
I think that it's definitely something that we currently need, especially when there are groups that have been systematically oppressed, right? It's not about, oh, everybody needs to be equal going to college because there still are barriers to entry. And it's about equity, not equality, because there's different things that we need to do in order to get everybody to an equal place. So until we're seeing stats where every background has the same amount of people going into college, it's something that we still need to enforce in order to make sure that our community is representative. So I do believe that we should have it and it should not have been overturned.
Judge Caitlin.
What would you say is your strongest category in this pageant?
In this pageant, probably talking and just communicating. Yeah, I'm a recruiter by trade, so I love to talk to people. And so I think that's probably my strongest area.
Perfect. Well done. Great job on timing yourself. Great closing. Awesome. I don't have any feedback. Good job there. Very conversational and good energy there, Marissa. Good job. Well done.
Yeah. Thanks for the question.
Well done. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes. Who's talking?
What is
Caitlin, yeah.
affirmative action?
Who wants to explain affirmative action to Kate? You'll experience that very soon in college. So who wants to explain that to Caitlin? Anyone?
I'll give it a shot.
Yep.
So based off of my understanding, affirmative action is something that required colleges to have a certain amount of people from the different, I guess, ethnic/race groups to attend their university. Some people view it as colleges not looking at everybody based off of strictly merit, and it restricts other people from attending those specific universities who supposedly deserve to go. Others say that it's something that shouldn't have been overturned because it restricts, like Marissa mentioned, it restricts the amount of representation at each of the colleges. So that could mean that certain colleges could be a majority of a certain ethnicity in a way, but so that's what the people who are opposing say that it could be. Yeah, I think that's both sides. If anyone wants to clarify what I just said, please do so.
I think you also had some opinions of it too, right, Marissa?
Yes. Well, I like my understanding of it is that affirmative action is supposed to like allow people, like, minorities, so whether that's background, gender, whatever it may be, to go into colleges, and it's supposed to just help it to be more like diverse, right? Because that's what we want. Because otherwise, there might be like prestigious colleges that have a lot of like, what is it called? What is it called when like one person, you're a legacy. And so that can also prevent other people from different backgrounds from being able to attend those colleges. So it's like to really help to balance out so that not all of the universities might be predominantly white male, or a lot of colleges now have a lot of Asian people, right? But there's not a lot of people that might come from Black communities or Latinx communities because they're being pushed out and not being able to get into universities because of those types of like systematic things that have been put into place. And so it's just to try to give everybody more of a fair shot into getting into college, because we all deserve to have that option if we want to pursue higher education. So that's my understanding of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much. So just so you understand, Caitlin, the arguments for and against it. For is that, yeah, just like Marissa and Sky said, if there's a demographic of people that have a disadvantage of getting in, then this is a way to try to give them a fair chance to go to a college that they otherwise would have had a very difficult time in getting, because maybe their school or their district or school system didn't have the resources to give them the best foundation to apply to the college that may even be skewed toward a certain another group. But the arguments against affirmative action is that, just like everything, right? There's a limited amount of spaces in certain things. So universities have a limited amount of people that they can accept every year. So if you are not part of that group, and it does not just mean you're a minority, it could mean it's usually for the people who are considered underrepresented. So if you're a Caucasian and if you're Asian, and you're not considered an underrepresented group because that school has enough Asians and Caucasians, but they want more Hispanics, more African Americans in there, then they will, even if you're an Asian or a Caucasian and you have the grades to make in that school, like you've got 4.0s and everything, right? They can easily give your spot away to someone who has a 3.0 or even a 2.5 because they need more African Americans or Latin Americans. And that's where that group, the Asian Americans and the Caucasians, are now angry about that, saying, hey, I worked hard, I got all the grades, I got on merits, and I got denied this because affirmative action took my spot away from someone who, because of, now that's almost considered reverse discrimination in some people's eyes too, because you are now being discriminated against because of your color, not because of your merit now, because your merit doesn't play into affirmative action if you're not an underrepresented group. So that's how that argument goes against affirmative action. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's say I was asked this question in an interview and I didn't know what it meant. Would I be able to ask the judges?
You can ask the judges in the interview. You have time. So if they ask you, what's your thought of affirmative action? And you go, I'm sorry, can you explain affirmative action? I'm still in the process of trying to apply to college, so I'm not quite sure of that term. They'll be understanding, especially, when you're still in high school, there's a lot of things they're very forgiving about, right? So you can totally ask them that and they'll be happy to explain that to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure, but it will take up, your 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just be aware of that. And you can also ask that question in Q&A, and they will not, that's one such situation where they won't take the time up. If you don't understand a certain question and you want clarification, the timer doesn't start until you've confirmed that you understand that question, you start answering it.
Oh, so I would be able to like ask them if I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, in Q&A, be like, I'm sorry, can you define what affirmative action means? And then the MC should be like, able to quickly explain it to you, like hopefully in a quick way that we try to describe to you. And the timer won't start until you started to start answering that question with the assumption that you understand the question now.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. All right. Any other questions about that interview or anything else? No? All right. Does anyone want to do an interview?
Oh, I actually had a question.
Yeah. Yes, May.
So like, how do they grade us on like a scale of 1 to 10? Is 10 just like they like your personality
You mean
or like
for the interview?
for the Q&A?
Oh, I would
Because-
say the Q&A is based on, I don't have the exact score sheet, but from what I remember, it's based on your insight, your creativity, your presentation, your sense of confidence, your presence, all of that. So it's easy for them. The Q&A is a part that they can really listen to because it's such a short and very focused part that they can just zero in on your, and plus there's only like 8 of you guys. There's not like 22 of you guys doing this back to back to back to back. There's only 8 of you guys that are going to be finalists. And so they can zero in on that and really listen to how you respond to the question. They also can obviously listen to the question themselves as the MC is giving the question that you pick. Remember, you pick the question, the MC takes it from your hand and reads the question you pick. And so judges can listen to that and then they come up with their own answer of how they would answer it and compare how you would answer that based on how they're answering it in their own heads. I will tell you this, let me look at the judges here again. We're almost finished with our judges. Our judges are pretty fucking smart. I'll tell you that right now. That's what I'll tell you. They are a combination of people who are Emmy winners, recognized nationally for entrepreneurship and philanthropy, very successful in their careers, consultants for major corporations, and how can I put this? Community leaders, even at the government level. Does that give you a hint of the people who will be asking you questions? I can't tell you more than that, really, but I can tell you that these people are not dumb. Okay.
No pressure at all.
Well,
Do any of them have
you guys
doctor
want
in front of their
to
name?
find you a bunch of dumb judges?
No, of course not. How many of them
Okay,
do
nobody is dumb.
At least 7. At least 7.
have doctor in front of their names?
Oh, you're asking. No, at least 7 judges. How many have doctor in their names?
Yeah.
I can't tell you that.
What? Really?
I can't
But
tell
that
you.
doesn't give away like.
I can't tell you that. I can't tell you
You know
that.
the judges now. You know the judges now?
I know the judges because I'm the one helping like recruit them all.
Oh,
I'm
When
not
do
done
we
yet.
get to
I'm
find
still
out?
working on it right now. I'm still working on the final set of the final completion of the circle, so to speak. But I can tell you right now, the ones that are confirmed, yeah, they are sharp. They are really, really like top 1% sharp. So the questions you guys are going to interview, they're not, I don't think any of these are mean. I think they're very nice people, but they will be testing you. So if they throw out a question out there and you answer very well, I'm almost sure the next judge is going to push it up and see if you can handle that. And if you handle that well, then the third judge will push that up higher and see it. And then until you reach your plateau or until you keep on going, yeah, I have a feeling that this is how these judges are going to be operating. They're going to be listening to how the last judge asked the question, how you respond, and how they are going to respond. If you didn't do well, they'll probably just pull it down a little bit. Now I should an easier question. But I think the judges around will also notice that's an easier question because of the last performance or your last answer. So I'm just telling you right now, the judges are pretty on top of their game. So for 7 minutes, you guys are going to have time for all of these judges firing questions at you in one room by yourself. Well, I'll be in there making faces at you in the back, but you will be in there essentially with the 7 or 8 judges, and they're just going to be firing questions at you one after the other, scoring you along the way. And that is your impression. That is your first impression. And that is the moment you are working on to bond with these judges, is that interview. That 7-minute interview with these judges is your one chance to make that first impression and bond with them so that they actually love you They're gonna either love you and pay attention to you or forget you. That's what's gonna happen. Those are the two things that happen in that sentence. They won't hate you, but they'll definitely forget you if they don't like you. If they like you, they're gonna remember you. And that will be a huge influence on how much they potentially pay in the next 80% of the competition. No pressure. Are you guys okay? What's wrong?
You know, Sita told me once when you're stressed, you laugh. And then I think I'm just going through that because you kind of like spiked up my stress, like just a little bit.
You're so funny. You're
I
so
feel like
funny.
I'm just living in delusion, you know? Like till I get to see all of you in person, then we're like, oh yeah, I'll feel it then. It's like building up
I can
week
see
by
you guys.
week.
The first thing you guys say to each other is like, did you bring the Valium? I got Valium. Do you need Valium? I got Valium. So don't worry about it. You guys have this. Just that's what we were practicing for. But I'm just telling you right now that the judges are yeah, they're good quality people. And they want to see you succeed. And they want to give you the chance to show to them that you have been working hard and you're giving your best foot forward. But yeah, they're all nice people. They're very, I think I can honestly, they're all very nice people. But they are definitely very accomplished people as well too.
When do we get to meet them?
Right when you walk into the interview.
Are you for real?
I am 1000% for real.
Okay,
The minute you
well,
walk into the interview is when you get to know who the judges are. We keep our judges super confidential because we don't want anyone doing any research on any other judges ahead of time. So you can't cater your answer to the judges.
Are they famous?
I can't tell you that. I can't tell you yes, and I can't tell you no. They may be famous in certain circles, or they may be famous to the public, but I can definitely tell you that they have definitely made a very solid name for themselves, either within their circle or in public in one way, shape, or form.
I think I have like a little bit of a weird question, but like if we're doing the interview like one at a time, we're not like allowed to talk to each other like how we felt about it.
Telling you guys, it's up. We tell you guys you shouldn't do that to each other, but it's up to you if you want to. So we can't stop you doing that. We can't, like, if Eric goes in and comes out, oh my God, Sky, there's this person and this person and this person and this person, and they ask me this and this. That's up to you. I can't stop you doing that. It's totally up to you guys. We do tell you guys, please try to keep it to yourselves so that one, you don't freak out your sister before she goes in, and two, just to kind of keep it consistent in terms of how, everyone is just going through there. But again, we cannot control you guys and what you guys do when you come out of an interview. We do hope that you are able to kind of use your best judgment on how you want to respond after you come out of that interview. Okay.
Okay. No, because
Yeah.
I'm just scared because like what if other girls come out and they're like really nervous and it's gonna make me more nervous?
That is
like
that's where you're like, find your center, meditate, pray to whatever deity that you believe in, do whatever sacrifice you do that morning, and then really, really, really focus. There are girls that came out crying. I don't personally think it was worth crying, but some girls have come out of the interview crying. Some girls have come out of the interview completely happy and ecstatic. It all depends on how well you have prepared yourself for that moment. But yeah, I would definitely advise not crying. There have been girls who cried in the interview, which is not a good look in the interview. And even some of the judges I remember this one girl started crying. I don't know why, that she was under so much stress that she like literally just couldn't handle it at that moment. And the judges had to get up, get tissue out of her own purse and walk over and wipe her tears. And I was all like, well, that left an impression. I'm not sure it was the one she wanted to leave, but the judges won't forget her. So try not to cry in the interview, please. I don't think any of you guys are going to cry because you guys are good, strong girls. But that is not that's not something to shoot for. Okay. And like I said, if you come out of the interview, try to use best judgment on how do you want to interact with your other sisters. I would, I would ask you guys all to be respectful of each other. So if one girl comes out, not to run up to her and ask her how it went and who's in there. Kind of be respectful of her, trying to just power down and get her center back in. And then when it's your turn, you will be able to prepare yourself for it. We can try to have some activities for you guys to do while your turn is coming up. So if I can have some walking practices for some girls, because if you're number 15 and we're only at number 1 or 2, you can do some walking practices with some of the coaches there, just to get your mind freed and set up. We might even have a little photo shoot going on the side if you just want to have a little photo shoot, something fun for you guys to do to kind of get your minds up. Because I didn't know this because I'm usually stuck in an interview room, but I've been told that there have been girls who are literally losing their minds, waiting for their turn, that they are walking up and down the hotel, just trying to do anything but to sit in the room waiting by themselves, going crazy. So we're trying this year, trying to give you guys some activities to do to keep you guys a little more occupied when it comes before your time comes. Okay. Yes, Angela.
When do we receive our delegate numbers, or
we'll receive the number on Monday?
Oh,
Monday night. Yeah, because we need to line you guys all up, and we need to pretty much create the whole little pyramid. Obviously, Felicia will be in center, either number 10 or number 11. She'll be there right there somewhere. And just the tallest girl is usually in the center, and all the other girls tapered out over to the ends like that. So then once we have it, pretty nicely uniformly tapered out, then we assign year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, all the way across. Okay, so you get your numbers by Monday night. You will know what your numbers are, and that's going to determine, obviously, when you go to interview. That's determine all your sequences. When you go to interview, when you appear on stage, all that stuff. Okay. But yeah, don't worry about the judges. Judges are good, but they will definitely challenge you as much as you give them reason to up the challenge with each question. Okay. And I know you guys can do this. I know you guys can handle this. All right, Angela, do you want to do a quick social platform real quick for us to check out?
Yes, I can try.
Okay, you got your microphone?
Yes, hold on. Let me go ahead and.
Okay. And after this, we can decide if you guys, and then after that, I can do a quick interview. We can do a quick interview with Kylie. I think Kylie raised her hand for an interview, right? And then anyone else who interview, we do. And after that, we can do Q&As if you guys want to, okay? All right. And Angela?
Hey guys, hope you all are having a great weekend. We start your week. I forget it's Monday. My perception of time is out the window.
Mine too. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, and go.
Do you remember your school lunches? Were they tasty? My project at Mills College demonstrated that students and faculty members in public schools should have access to nutritious meals, crucial for their performance. According to the School Nutrition Association, 1 in 8 children. Can I start again? Sorry.
Yes. Now here again, this is a lesson. If you guys forget your line, feel free to make shit up. Replace your sentence with anything you want to, as long as the sentence you replace it with is not longer than what the original sentence says. When I was practicing with Kylie the first time, she forgot an entire line and made some shit up and then went on to the ending, which I thought was great because it sounded natural to me. And the judges wouldn't have known the difference at all. So this time, Angela, I'm going to keep on timing. And if you forget something, make something up and then pretend like you meant to do that and keep on trekking down to the finish line, okay? All right.
Okay.
Guys get used to doing that. Because that way, if you do that, there's no way you can fail. All right. All right. 1, 2, 3, and go.
Do you remember your school lunches? Were they tasty? My project at Mills College demonstrated that students and faculty members in public schools deserve access to nutritious meals, crucial for performance. According to the School Nutrition Association, 1 in 8 children in America live in households without healthy food. The lack of funding in the National School Lunch Program is heartbreaking. Working with Oakland Community Gardens and Ronald McDonald House, I learned that food and community go hand in hand. With Miss Asian Global, my plan is to launch our platform, Scholar Bites, where we connect schools and local farmers to ensure fresh ingredients on lunch trays. Join me to nourish and fuel academic brilliance in our future leaders.
Wonderful. 43 seconds. Good job. Well done. Nicely done.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Okay, good. You guys are coming along really well. And Mayfree and Sarah, and Sylvia, I can't wait to work with you guys on yours. I know you guys are gonna be awesome too. Okay. Kylie, I think you raised your hand for an interview practice, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do that then. Let me get my, where's my clock? Clock. Okay. Let's start off with you, Angela Judge. Angela, go for it.
Sorry, you cut out. My question is, what do you think is your greatest aspiration?
I would say that since I'm 18, there's definitely a lot of things that I still want to explore. As an incoming freshman at UC Berkeley, I plan on studying business. However, that's not a permanent decision, and I still want to explore. But I think that the thing that I really want to do in the future is find something that I'm passionate about while also being able to make an impact in my community.
Judge Sarah.
Since you mentioned that you want to find something that you're passionate about, do you have any ideas of specifically careers that you're interested in?
So I would say that I'm really interested in business. However, currently there's so many different avenues that I want to explore. I do dance, I do modeling, and I'm also, I've been modeling for charity fashion shows, and those are some of my hobbies that I do outside of dance. And, possibly doing something within those avenues is something that might interest me, but overall business is what interests me. And I think that's something that's very practical and applicable to anything that I do in the future.
Judge Mayfree.
What do you see yourself in next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I will have graduated college and I will hopefully be finding a job somewhere in the business field. But aside from my career, I really hope to still be involved with Miss Asian Global organization. I truly believe in its mission to empower women. And just being here right now, I already feel really empowered and very confident in who I am and who I want to be in the future. And so I would say, aside from my career, I still want to be very involved with MAG, whether it's being able to dance and choreograph for future pageant sisters, or just being involved. I think that's something that I would really be interested in doing.
Judge May.
I know that you're still exploring different career options, but what is one thing that you really want in your future to feel fulfilled?
I would say that I hope that in the future I can, as someone in business, I can help Asian-owned businesses, because I believe that representation is really important in our community, and having representation really empowers others in our community to rise up and be inspired by others who are, doing well in their community. And so as someone in business, I would really want to be able to do something like business consulting to help Asian-owned businesses rise up and improve.
Judge Aaron.
Kylie, 3 words to describe yourself.
I would say 3 words to describe myself are daring, ambitious, and confident.
And okay.
Thank you so much.
5, yes, perfect. Thank you. You might want to say thank you so much for the last 4 seconds there.
Yeah, I was like a really awkward thank you so much.
Yeah, you're like, and that would be it. Thank you. Just or you can just say those are the 3 words I would use to describe myself. Thank you. That would take
I'll
up
add that next time.
Yes.
I feel like I tend to do that. I'm just waiting the last 5 seconds. I was like, thank you.
If you only 5 seconds to stretch out with a thank you or
Yeah, I'll
no-
just like kind of repeat something along the
just
lines.
tap
Yeah.
it and stuff.
Yeah.
Good job. Otherwise, great job. You guys are going really good at keeping your eye on your time there. No feedback. I think you're doing great. Good energy. I love the energy you're giving there, Kylie. Who wants to do interviews? I'm not gonna call on people. I'm just gonna whoever wants to do interview, we'll do interview. And then once we're done with that, we're gonna do some Q&A. So anyone else want to do interviews? All right, Sky, you're up. All right, let's start with Judge Caitlin. Judge Caitlin.
I don't even have a question yet. Let me think. Wait, I'll
What
be
is affirmative action?
what inspired you to be a teacher?
The thing that inspired me to be a teacher are actually my former teachers as well as my classmates and peers. When I was in school, there were a lot of teachers who I really enjoyed the way that they set up their classrooms and the way that they were so loving and caring to not only me, but all of my peers as well. And then having the opportunity to help my peers with all of their schoolwork really was something that I found fun. So that actually inspired me to become a teacher.
Judge Marissa.
What's one thing that you're going to have in your classroom once it's finished being set up?
Oh, one thing I'm going to have in my classroom once it's done being set up is actually the library. So for me, I really, really value libraries and borrowing books and reading. So for me, that was actually one of the first things I did. It was start setting up my library. I brought out all of the chapter books. I've been discarding some of the older books and been trying to ask for some donations to find newer chapter books that would be engaging for my students, and then also find diversity within those books, because a lot of the books that I currently have are Eurocentric. So I want to have some representation. So for me, the one thing I really need in my classroom is my library.
Judge Kylie.
Could you tell us what is your greatest weakness?
My greatest weakness is overthinking. There's a lot of things that go on inside of my mind, and it kind of just continuously goes and grows. But some things I do to help conquer that is to really take time for myself and allow myself to feel however I'm feeling. And if I need to journal, I journal, or on my whiteboard when I have way too many things to think about, I actually just do a dump. So I write everything that's on my mind all over my whiteboard, and then I have time to organize it and really figure out what I'm trying to do.
Judge Aaron.
Sky, what's the hardest part about being a teacher?
The hardest part about being a teacher are my soul suckers. So those are the students who are very needy in a way, but it's also just because there's a lot of them. There's students who really struggle with their home life. So for me, it's like, okay, there's a lot more I need to give to them, or I'll have the students who are kind of mentally on another planet. So trying to get them back onto Earth is very soul sucking too. So I think that's the hardest part about being a teacher.
Judge Sylvia.
Hi. I wanted to ask, where has been your favorite place that you traveled to and why?
My favorite place that I've traveled to is Japan. I really love how organized the culture is there, and the food is just absolutely amazing. So for that reason, Japan has been my favorite place to travel.
Good job. Well done.
Yay, thank you.
Timing. Right to the last second. Soul suckers. I've never heard students refer to that, but I can definitely identify as well. Too.
Angela's nodding because she totally understands. Yeah.
Soul suckers. Wow.
I love hearing about other teachers like experiences, because I'm like, I get it. Have any of you guys seen Abbott Elementary? If not, and you need a feel-good show to watch that show.
It's very relatable, and it opens your eyes, especially from an outside perspective, because that is how our lives are.
Abbott Elementary. I will check.
Yes.
That's my next
Abbott Elementary, yeah.
Very good. Always great energy, great engagement. Wonderful. Good job there, Sky. Who else wants to do a mock interview tonight? All right, Angela, let's put you up. All right, let's start with Judge Sarah.
What do you do in your free time for fun?
During my free time, there's a lot of things I really like to do. But one of the things is I love spending time with my family. I have a really big family. There's 10 aunts and uncles on both sides. So anytime I visit one region of the US, there's probably like 5 houses I have to visit, and there's always food involved. So most of my free time is spent with them. We're always playing games and doing crazy things together.
Judge Mapry?
What is your pageant favorite memory?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat your question?
What is your pageant favorite memory?
One of my favorite pageant memories so far was definitely the first day of orientation. I flew in that morning and I was really nervous. It felt like the first day of school when you're the new kid and you're like, what's gonna happen? But I walked in and everyone was smiling at me. And I felt so welcomed by the MAG staff and all of my pageant sisters. And I love being able to connect with everybody. So that's probably my favorite memory so far. First impressions are really important. So, and I had a really good one.
Awesome. Judge May?
How would you alleviate bullying in the classroom?
I'm so happy you brought this up because it's actually really important to me. During one of my last year of teaching, we had a mean girl situation happen. And how I addressed it was through role play. And I did an anchor chart about microaggressions. It's a very big term to be teaching to 8-year-olds, but it was so important because it had a really strong life lesson behind it, especially in the injustices that we see today. So what I did was I got a bunch of my stuffies that are in my classroom and I basically scripted out a play and we sat in a circle together and I was like, oh, what do you think the seal should say to this person? And we had an open discussion about it instead of actually targeting certain students because it's a lesson that's good for our entire class morale. We have set guidelines and community rules that we talk about every day, and we're always fixing them and improving them. So I think that's one way to alleviate bullying is to set an example and make it relatable.
Yes, Sky?
What is one thing that you feel is so important to teach your students?
One of the most important things to teach that I tell my students all the time is words carry weight. It means that the words that you speak to yourself and the words that you speak to other people has to have compassion in order for us to thrive. Thank you.
Well done. Good job on your timing again. Good job, Angela. Awesome. No real comment there. Good job as always, Angela. You do a really good job. Okay. Who else wants a mock interview tonight?
I don't want to, but I probably should because I haven't done one in like 2-3 weeks.
All right, let's have you on camera. You ready to be on camera? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. I'm looking hella ratchet today. I don't feel good.
You look great, Erin. You always look great. So yeah, and it's like I said, do not downplay the interview. The interview is actually, in my opinion, the most important part because just like literally exactly like what Angela said, first impressions are so important, and that is your one time to make a good first impression on those 7 to 8 judges. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now impress the hell out of us. Here goes. Let's start with Caitlin.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve is when people chew their food very loudly. I don't know why, but that sound has annoyed me since the day I was born. It's just really, I don't know, it's just like a very obnoxious sound. So that's something that has always been a pet peeve of mine.
Hilarious. All right. Judge Kylie.
What would you say is your favorite thing about yourself?
I would say that my drive is my favorite thing about myself. I think that a lot of the things that I've achieved has not been due to talent or due to motivation or, innate skills, but it's really just been through my drive that I've been able to achieve what I have.
Judge Marissa.
If you could go back in time and tell your younger self something, what piece of advice would you give them?
I would tell myself, slow down, calm down, and everything's going to be okay. I was always so uptight when I was in my early teens, all the way until I graduated college, really, because I took everything so seriously, and I always thought it was the end of the world if I didn't do XYZ. And now looking back at it, I could have done the same things without so much stress, and I would have been just as successful, just as accomplished.
Judge Sarah?
What are your favorite hobbies to do?
I really like yoga because it makes me grounded and stay in the present moment. And that's something that I have struggled with before. I also really like making different smoothie combinations and sharing them with my dog. And it's nice to see it because he likes it too. And I just really like to spend time outdoors.
Judge May?
What do you look forward to doing in San Diego?
I really look forward to trying all of the Mexican food. I've tried one taco place so far. It's been really, really good. And I'm excited to see what other restaurants to try.
Judge Angela?
Hi, Erin. In 30 seconds, can you tell us what is the biggest issue our younger generation is facing?
The biggest issue our younger generation is facing is climate change. Hands down, there are so many adverse health effects to climate change, such as respiratory and cardiovascular issues, and it disrupts our food systems. It destroys habitats, and it's really up to us to decide how we're going to resolve it, because after our generation, we don't know how much worse the issue is going to be. So climate change is the biggest problem in our generation. Thank you.
Perfect timing. Good job. Well done, Erin. You're perfectly in practice. And really, so we should just smack our food around you, right? When we're eating with you. Is that right, Erin?
No, I'm gonna smack someone in the head when they do. One time this kid was doing it in the UCLA library. I almost lost my mind, and her food was smelly too. I was so mad.
I have never heard of that pet peeve, but I love that one. That's was great. All right, and you smoothies for you and your dog. What's your dog's favorite smoothie?
Strawberry banana with
You
a
should-
little bit of peanut butter.
Oh, I've never tried peanut butter. I have to try that next time. But I do love strawberry banana smoothie. That is one of my favorite smoothies. Okay, your dog has a good taste. All right, who else wants to do a mock interview? All right, let's go. I think I saw Sarah's hand pop up just a split second before Mayfree. So let's do Sarah and then go to Mayfree. Sarah, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's start with Mayfree. Why don't you start the question?
Sarah, who is your role model?
Thank you so much for that question. I feel like today my biggest role model is Zendaya, because I love how confident and beautiful and just how well-rounded her personality is. It seems like everyone loves her, and I just strive to be someone like her with her confidence.
Judge Angela.
Hi, Sarah. Can you tell us what is your biggest failure?
Okay. So I feel like my biggest failure was not realizing or not having confidence when I was younger, and just being very quiet and not being able to put myself out there. I feel like there's so much in life that needs you to make bold decisions. So today I feel like it's part of my growing stage to put myself out there and have more confidence.
Judge May.
When do you feel the most confident?
I feel the most confident when I'm surrounded by lots of support with my family and friends. I also feel more confident when I'm working on myself physically. I feel like beauty is a good thing to work towards. So I mean, working on fitness, being healthy, that's when I feel most confident about myself as well.
Judge Sylvia.
Did you say Sylvia?
Sylvia, yes.
Okay, sorry. Hi, what is your biggest fear and why?
My biggest fear is rejection because I don't put myself in uncomfortable situations like that often. I feel like I fear what other people think about me, but I'm taking steps nowadays to realize that we're all just humans. We're all going through our own experiences and failures. So don't take everything so seriously. Just go through life one step at a time.
Judge Marissa?
How are you going to channel your inner Zendaya on stage during pageant night?
Well, that's a very good question. I feel like Zendaya has a very tall and elegant demeanor. So, and whenever she walks in her heels, she just exudes that confidence, and gives that I don't care what other people think vibe. So, to channel Zendaya, I would love to just be out there.
Good job on timing that. All right, well done. Okay, so good job. Overall, I thought that was good, and I loved how you are now even more comfortable in being very vulnerable and very transparent, and that's actually going to be very good for the judges to feel like you're confident enough to share those parts of yourself with them. So that's really good. So huge strides and a lot of growth there, Sarah. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, Mayfree, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Get my time ready. Let's start with you, Kylie.
Hi, Mayfree. Could you tell us a little bit about your social platform?
Hi, Kelly. Thank you for your question. So my social platform is about to educate people in rural remote area because I would like people to know how to prevent chronic diseases because these diseases can be prevented if they know the right thing to do. Thank you.
Judge Aaron.
Hi, Mayfree. What is one patient encounter that's just stuck with you for a long time?
One patient encounter. So back when I was working as an ER nurse, I think the most patient that I really stuck is some people that couldn't speak English. So I work on the island and most of my patients were tourists. And it's really hard because we speak Thai and English and most of patients were from China or Germany, and we really need to use only Google Translate because we can figure out. So we just like both of us need to be patient, and yeah, it works. It works until they discharge. Thank you.
Judge Sky.
If you could make your very own sticker, what would it say and why?
If I could make my own sticker, I would say about feed me chocolate because I really love chocolate. And yeah, any type of chocolate, I eat everything. I don't drink coffee. I eat only chocolate. Thank you.
Awesome. Judge Caitlin.
What is your least favorite food?
My least favorite food would be something that oily, such as there is one of Thai food that very oily. I think you guys know pad Thai. So for me, I haven't discovered any Thai restaurant who make really like authentic pad Thai in San Francisco. And yeah, I can tell that I barely go to Thai restaurant.
Judge Angela.
Hi, Mayfree. What is one piece of advice that you want to give to a future pageant girl?
One advice that I would like to give to the next generation pageant girl would be about to confident because I was the one that I wasn't confident before and I lost many opportunities. And yes, if I would like to give the advice, I would give about confidence.
Real quick, Sarah.
How are you confident? Sorry.
That's it.
I actually should extend Angela's answer.
Yes, if you only have 10 seconds left, my advice is to keep on going with the answer until you finish your 10 seconds. Because otherwise, some judges may be like, oh, I'm gonna squeeze this in. You never know. Some judges will do that. It's kind of a dick move, but they'll do that. Okay, so has everyone done an interview here? It seems like I think everyone's done an interview, right? Oh, you haven't done one yet, May, right? All right, May. Let's get you started. Let's go with Sky.
If you could put something on a sticker, what would it be and why?
If I could put something on a sticker, it would be let's get tacos. The reason being is because I grew up in LA where I was constantly surrounded by Asians, but going to college by the border opened my eyes to meeting more Hispanic and African American populations. And one of the things that I absolutely love doing with my Hispanic friends was getting tacos, and that completely opened a new world for me.
Love it. Judge Caitlin.
How were you introduced to Miss Asian Global?
I actually was watching a Netflix show called Singles Inferno, and I saw that a few of the girls were doing pageant shows, and that honestly really inspired me into doing pageants as well, because the show is all about getting to know someone. And I thought their confidence was so attractive. So I thought maybe if I do a beauty pageant, I could be as confident and as beautiful as they are.
Judge Aaron.
May, what's the best thing you've learned throughout this entire preparation process?
One or like the best thing I learned about this preparation process is that coming into this beauty pageant, you don't need any type of merit or wealth or external beauty. You just have to come in with your own personality and confidence, and that is all that the competition is about.
Judge Kylie.
What would you say is the most important aspect of maintaining a good friendship?
That is a really good question. The most important aspect of maintaining a good friendship is always being there to support each other. I think nowadays, like with social media and meeting people, and especially when you move from high school to college or into the workforce, we kind of tend to lose connection with our friends, or we're changing. But I think maintaining a really good friendship is letting the other person know that you're always there for them throughout their challenges and all these changing variables in their life. So the best thing to do is just to support your friends and always be there for them.
Judge Angela.
Hi, May. Can you tell us when was the last time you felt stressed out, and what did you do about it?
The last time I felt stressed out was the first time I had to show my pageant walk on Zoom to the other girls. I noticed that a lot of the other girls had pageant experience, but honestly came to love it because nowadays I just show up to the gym in like these 6-inch heels, look in the mirror and just like put on some feel good music. And I love the person that I'm seeing. So like the one thing that got me stressed is something that I love now. Thank you.
Excellent answer and great timing. Good job. All right, you guys are doing very, very good on interview. Again, but do not lax on this part. This is, in my opinion, I can't emphasize this, how important this part is. It's important because it's the first impression. It's the only time the judges talk with you. They do not talk with you at any, the Q&A is all done by the MC. Okay, so this is the only time judges talk to you. And when there's a tie, we look back at who has the highest score in the interviews to break the tie. So the interview is literally the foundation of almost everything. Okay, so even though you guys are doing well, do not let this slide. This is literally probably the foundation of how you will be going forward from the pageant scores onward. Okay, good job. Has everyone done an interview now? Yeah, all right. It's 9:34, so I can stay on for till 10 o'clock if you guys want to do any Q&A. You guys want to stay on and do Q&A?
One round.
You guys are like diehards. I love it. All right. Let me see. What are some good questions? Find something good for you guys. Okay. I think I think. Okay, we can do a few of these questions. I think I've asked some of you guys these questions already, but not all of them have. Okay, so let's go with who should we go with? Okay, let's try and go with Sky. You want to do first?
Alrighty.
Okay.
Hard questions.
Yes, we'll get some hard questions here.
Okay, you seem to be working very hard to find the hard questions, and it's making me a little nervous.
I want to find something that is, how can I put this? That is adequate for you guys' abilities here. Okay, here you go. Sky, here is your question. What did you expect to gain from this pageant, and do you think you're gaining it?
Something I expected to get out of this pageant is confidence and also my ability to network. For me, confidence is something that I struggled with growing up. I always thought that I had it and I was kind of faking it until I made it, but I haven't made it yet until recently. I feel like I've been growing progressively as a person. And then networking wise, because I had my high school years online, I didn't really get to know that many people. But because of this pageant, I'm now able to not only work on my networking skills, but also my confidence. Thank you.
Good, 35 seconds. Network confidence, you explained it, you recapped it, and you explained exactly what you're going through with it. So overall, yeah, I say that's pretty good. You hit all the points. I would say that's easily a 9. It's a good job.
And under a minute too. It's been a hot minute since that's
Yes.
happened. So
Yes, you get good control of your time this time. Awesome. All right, let's go with Caitlin, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Caitlin, here's your question. How would you handle competing with a fellow delegate that you didn't like?
I feel like all people have their differences, but if I were competing against a delegate who I disliked, I would first want to focus on myself instead of focusing on them, because only I can be my true self and be the best person I can be while in the pageant. So I would focus on my walking, my talking, and if I didn't feel confident, I would work on that. So on stage, I would be able to exert my practice. And so I would be able to be my most confident and beautiful self. So if I were competing against someone I disliked, I would be focusing on me instead of someone else. Thank you.
Good, 38 seconds. Good job, the answer. And I like that. So you answered the question how you would deal with it, which essentially just don't give them energy, give the energy back to yourself and just do the best job you can. Awesome. Okay, good job. I'd give that probably 9.5, easy. Okay, nice. All right. Let me see. Okay, let's go with Angela. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, here's a question, Angela. If you had, okay, wait, so let's put this. If you were given 30 extra minutes in each day, how would you spend that day? How would you spend that 30 extra minutes that day and why?
If I had 30 extra minutes every day, I would take that time to lock myself in my room, turn on music, and dance like nobody is watching me, because dancing has been something that has been a safe space for me. Doesn't matter how long of a day I've had or whatever adversities that were happening in my life, it was the one thing that I could do to really practice my own self-confidence and creatively express. So if I had 30 minutes, I would turn on all sorts of music, dance all sorts of ways, and probably stretch right after. Thank you.
That was 40 seconds, so good job on that. And I love the answer. And you explained it, why it was something super powerful and energizing for you. So good. You, ironically, that seems to be an exact quote from Kylie's talk, right? Dance like no one's watching.
Oh, yes.
Love it. Okay.
Totally relate. Yeah.
Gosh, it's been a while if I'm starting to memorize lines from you guys talk. Damn it. All right. Let me move on to the next. It'll be you, Kylie. Let me see what's a good question for you.
Okay.
Okay, Kylie, here's your question. Kylie, do you feel more comfortable in small gatherings or large parties, and why?
I would say that I definitely feel more comfortable in small gatherings. However, through this pageant, I really want to push myself to grow more confident so that I can really engage with others in large gatherings. As someone who has definitely been more shy and reserved ever since I was young, I believe that through my activities such as dance and modeling, those have really pushed me out of my shell to become more confident in my own skin. And I think through those experiences, those have really helped me become more confident and more engaging and given me the ability to interact more with those around me. So I would say, although my instinct is to be in a small gathering, I would say that I've definitely grown so much, especially through this pageant. And I can confidently say that I can be confident and comfortable in any large gathering now. Thank you so much.
43 seconds. Good job on using your time there. And that's good. All right, so you explain why small gatherings is your comfort zone, that large parties is now something you're more used to because of the pageant and modeling and all your dance stuff. So, okay, good job. Easily 9.5 in that one. Good job. All right, Erin, you ready for yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here's your question, Erin. This is actually well suited for you. Do you think the youth of today face more or less pressure than the previous generations? Why or why not?
Overall, I believe that the youth of our generation faces more pressure than the generations prior. I would say that the main reason for that is because we are constantly compared to our peers, whether we want to be compared or not. Social media dominates our life, and when you're constantly seeing images of perfection, and there's things called deep fake where you could completely change someone's appearance on video, or now AI, we're kind of going into a territory where we don't really know what's real anymore, and it's really easy to compare yourself to that. I also think that college admissions have become more competitive and difficult. And so that is a big pressure that I personally faced while I was growing up. So I do believe overall that our generation faces more pressure than the generation prior. Thank you.
Great. 56 seconds.
That's the longest I've talked before.
Yes.
Damn.
So how passionate for an answer. So good. Again, great answer. I love that you gave great examples. Beware of the danger of being too passionate about an answer, because that's a very easy way to lead into rambling, and rambling is your enemy in 45 seconds periods. Okay, so be very careful of that. But you had great content. The judge would have probably scored you very high, but the staff would have deducted you 300th of a point at that point. Okay, you were like 4 seconds shy of losing the entire point. Okay, so be careful. When you notice something that you really want to talk about, make sure you control it. Okay. All right. Let's go over to Mayfree. Let me see if we can find a good question for you, Mayfree. Okay, let's try this one. Mayfree, here is your question. Mayfree, what do you stand for?
Could can you give the definition of stand for? I would like to make sure that I understand same as your definition.
Sure. Stand for, what do you represent? What do you symbolize?
So what I represent?
Yes, what do you represent? What do you stand for?
Thank you for your question. What I am stand for today is about my community. Thai community is only 0.3% in San Francisco. We are very small community, and I would like to represent my community to be bigger and stronger as it was. And I would like to make them gathering every month as it possible. So therefore, I stand for my community. Thank you.
Good, that was 33 seconds, so good job. Yeah, I like that. So that's a good answer. You stood for your community. You also gave a good little statistics on, so that's kind of cute to be able to give us statistics on Thai community within San Francisco. So you obviously have been studying this. I'd say that's easily 9.5 because you were very clear and you also cited good solid evidence. So good job on that one. Okay, May, are you ready? Where are you, May? Okay, there you are. You ready, May? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's one for you, May. May, what is the best piece of advice that you could give your parents?
The best piece of advice I can give to my parents is to spend more time with your family. Growing up, my parents did not spend a lot of time. Oh, when my parents grew up in Cambodia, they did not spend a lot of time with their own family, and they quickly lost a lot of their own brothers and sisters to the war. And then coming to America, my mom is the only person on her family, and my dad is the only one in his family to come here, and they've grown to go to work a lot, and they don't spend a lot of time with me. So if I were to give one piece of advice to my parents, it would be to spend more time with your loved ones. Thank you.
Good, 40 seconds. And that was a good, powerful message, really strong, resonates. I give that easily a 9.5, not a 10. Good job on that one.
You made me like really vulnerable.
Sorry, what?
You made me feel really vulnerable.
Well, good,
Okay.
because if you can answer this type of question in front of your sisters, that's that much easier to answer this question in front of 800 to 900 people that night, right? And also get scored on it. Okay, do you guys want to do one more round, or are you guys good for today? Before we call it a night, it's up to you guys.
I can do one more round.
You guys are so funny. All right. You guys are diehards. I love it. I love it. Okay. Caitlin, here's your question. Tell me about one of your family's traditions.
One of my family's traditions is that every year we visit my great-grandma's grave in San Francisco. We set up a huge meal or a lunch, almost like a picnic at our gravesite, and we bring lots of traditional Asian foods. I remember we bring char siu and we bring pork belly, we bring tea. We also burn money and smoke essence by the grave. I don't really know what they represent, but I'm happy to be a part of the tradition, and hopefully one day my mom can explain it to me, and so I can do it when, oh, I don't want to say when she passes away. So I can do it when other people die.
All right, let's just pause this right now. Okay, so yeah, you may want to
I need
might
to tweak
wanna
that a bit.
plan that out a little bit on stage. When
Yeah.
you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Oopsies.
Yeah. So when it comes your turn to carry on the tradition, is maybe one way you can say it. Okay. Well, my mom is dead. So, by the way, just to explain to you, the money that they're burning, which is fake money, obviously, that you know, that essentially is their way to send the money to heaven.
Mm.
That's also a reason why it's not just money, but sometimes they also burn like Chinatown will sell like little fake models of cars and houses even, and you burn those models to represent that those are gifts that you're sending into the afterlife. So as you're burning these fake things, they are actually being destroyed in the mortal realm and transcend into the spiritual realm where they can reach your ancestors.
That's good to know.
Yeah. And the incense are also there to help attract the spirits, you know, because they're nice, supposed to be nice smelling scents, and that attracts the spirits to come and celebrate with their ancestors.
Wait, Francis, so what if you come from like a very dysfunctional family and y'all have no traditions? What are you supposed to say, or do you make shit up?
Oh, let's try this. All right, Aaron, here's your question. Aaron?
Wait, no, I literally don't have a freaking answer.
Let me try this out. Aaron, tell me about one of your family's traditions.
We're Korean American, and in Korea, every new year, we eat soup with rice cake coins in it. They're supposed to resemble prosperity and good health and good fortune. So on the first of every year, my mom cooks. We all sit by the table and we enjoy it together as a family.
Good, 32
Yeah.
seconds.
You want me to make shit up then? Is that what you're saying?
You could say what you would want as a tradition for your family, but not gonna lie, if you weren't laughing the whole time, I think I would have thought you were for real. I would have believed you.
Yeah. Although it's a lot, if you're answering that on stage, literally laughing your ass off, I think I would love that. I think the judges would be like, I like her. I hope she's okay, but I like her.
Okay.
So that's good. You can totally. Is that a Korean tradition, or is that something your mom actually just did do, kind of just out of habit?
It's a Korean tradition, but we've hated each other more in recent years, so we don't do it anymore.
Okay. So yeah, you can totally make shit up if you happen to pick that question, and you have to answer that in front of, you know, almost 1,000 people. You can say like, one of the Korean traditions that my family used to practice, but sadly don't practice that much anymore, is, and then you go into it. Okay. I love your delivery. That delivery was awesome. Okay. let's move on. I think it's your turn, right, Sky? All right. Sky, here's your question. What is your favorite magazine and why?
Unfortunately, I don't really read magazines. However, I do have a favorite book, and my current favorite book is Crying in H Mart. It brings Asian representation into a bunch of novels, and for me, growing up, everything was pretty Eurocentric, and it was a lot of romance books. So being able to read this book about a Korean American's experience. I'm not Korean, but personally, just seeing Asian representation makes me happy. But again, being able to see Korean representation, or her story, and being able to relate to some of the things that she went through is really fulfilling for me. So again, although I don't read magazines, Crying in H Mart is definitely a book I would recommend to read.
Excellent. 41 seconds. Good job. And yeah, I had the feeling you probably didn't read magazines, which is one reason why I asked that question. And you were able to do it really well by just saying you don't read magazines, but this is one of my favorite publications, and you went off with it. So good job on that. I'll give that a 9.5 or a 10. Good job on that. I already asked you your question, Aaron, so we're good, I think. Okay. Let's go to you, Kylie. You ready? Kylie, here's your question. What color best describes your outlook on life and why?
I would say that the color that best describes my outlook on life is light blue, which is funny because I'm actually wearing light blue right now. And I would say that this color really describes my personality because it sort of reminds me of the ocean and the waves. And that's kind of my outlook on life. I'm a very optimistic person, and I sort of tend to go with the flow of life. I'm only 18 years old, and there's still so much out there in life for me to explore, especially now that I'm going off to college. And so I would say that my outlook on life is to just really go with the flow and see what happens, because you never know what life throws at your way. And I think right now what's really important for me is to just go with the flow and just sort of enjoy life and see what happens. So the color that would best represent my outlook on life is definitely light blue. Thank you.
48 seconds. So good job, 100th point deduction. Great description, a little bit over time. But otherwise, great job. So I would give that easily 9.5 minus 100th of a point. Okay, good job. So watch your time. Okay, May, are you ready? May, here's your question. What is your most prized possession and why?
I would say my most prized possession is probably a plushie that I have. The reason being is that plushie has always been there for me every day at night growing up as a child, and I took it with me through college. Other than the memories that I associate with my plushie, I feel that the support that it has given me is very impactful and important to me in life. And I feel like it's always been there for me. So my most prized possession has to be my plushie.
Good job. That was 42 seconds. So good job on that. Good, plushie. That makes you very clear on it. You explain your why and you answered it. I'd say that's a good 9.5, 9 to 9.5. So good job on that. All right. Mayfree, you ready?
Francis, I have a question. For my question, what does that mean for most prized concession?
Does anyone want to answer that? May, you want to answer?
May, would you like to?
What does prized possession mean?
It's like an item or something that you have and you really value it, like you really like it.
So it's like favorite item that valuable. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Like, oh, here, for example, this little fishy is one of my prized possessions. My mom actually saved this for me. This is what I used to keep my lunch money in when I was 8 years old. Somehow she actually didn't throw it away and it's still in the same condition as it was. See, you can even see the name Francis on there that she wrote so that no one would steal it from me.
That's
So yeah, this thing, I didn't know my mom actually kept it for me, but she gave it to me this past Christmas as a little gift that I didn't think that she would keep. But yeah, I recognized it instantaneously like that when she showed it. So that's one of my new prized possessions because it has such a strong history with me.
Thank you.
So let me see. Last question here tonight. Okay. Mayfree, here's your question. What is your most treasured memory? Treasured memory. Like what memory do you love the most and why?
Thank you for your question. I usually love my memory when I go travel abroad. And the most one that I love was in China because I went to South China, which is nobody speak English. And at that time, I learned some Chinese language, like some example, like how much is this for the for the food and where's the bathroom, just some simple sentences. And yes, I would like to say China is one of the most my favorite thing that the question, I forgot the question. Yeah, but I try to recap. Yes, China was one of my favorite memory that I would like to.
Okay.
I forgot the question.
That's okay. About 49 seconds there. So about 100th point deduction, but otherwise good answer. And yes, do try to remember the question that you're
A
answering.
treasure memory. I didn't know the word treasure. Yeah.
That's okay. The memory that you love the most. So overall, you guys did good. I would probably give you that's a 9. I think that's a good solid 9 because I talked about why that was such a powerful memory of yours. And you didn't know the language, but you still enjoyed the people and experience. So good job. Overall, you guys are doing great. Love the social platform. So we're going to practice social platform again tomorrow to make sure everyone is consistently improving on that. We'll do the same thing again tomorrow. Whoever wants to join. And if you have 4th of July plans, that's okay. No worries. I'll be here regardless. Whoever wants to hang out and practice another session tomorrow night. Okay. But otherwise, you guys did great tonight. So proud of you. You guys are all improving consistently. We're 4 weeks away from pageant week. So this is a time to really bear down and whatever your questions you have, whatever you work on, all the stuff you're gonna polish, everything you want to just do final touches on, this is the time. This is literally the last chance actually to do it. Okay. All right. Love you guys. You guys are awesome. Happy 4th of July. Almost at New Year's. Happy 4th of July to you guys. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.
Happy New Year's to you too. Bye.
Bye.
Francis,
Yeah.
do you have any availability tomorrow or your schedule fully booked?
I'm pretty fully booked tomorrow.
Okay, no worries. Just curious in case I can practice social platform.
No worries.
Okay, let's do Thursday as we schedule.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Good night. Bye.